Good afternoon, everyone. Joshua Kaiser here with my Persuasive Speech Prosperity Through Literacy, the essential need for adult literacy programs. The purpose of my speech today is to discuss and emphasize the need for adult literacy campaigns here in America. The ability is to persuade the audience to get involved and support those organizations that are working to promote and create literacy programs in their communities. Can you read? Did you know that 21% of American adults cannot? This fact, scary in itself, from the National Center of Education Statistics, shows that 21% of American adults are incapable of performing a simple literacy task, whether that be reading, writing, or spelling their own name. It's a simple task that people struggle to be able to complete. With that, we need to force ourselves to get in and structure our communities and protect the people within our communities, and force ourselves to better protect and educate those that need it. English and reading is a skill that we all take for granted, and that ability to have that skill makes or breaks people in lives. If you can't fill out a simple job application, how do you get a job? If you sign a contract and don't know what you've signed or what you've read or what's happening, how are you supposed to be able to protect yourself? Literacy programs to me are very important. As one of my best friends that I've had for the better half of my life, 20 years, came to me one day, worked for me, was my warehouse manager, and scary enough to find out that he could not even read. And so I started a program called movalstrong.org, which is a nonprofit here in Moreno Valley for the local community that assists literacy campaigns and promotes reading, summer reading programs for the kids, adult literacy programs for adults. I help them with applications, forms, and all the other necessary means to be able to survive. Literacy is the structured power to gain knowledge. And according to the New York City Youth Association, reading is the core essential to being able to read, write, and do math. And without those simple fundamental skills that each one of us take for granted each and every day, we don't have the ability to function and survive ourselves. Therefore, we understand that reading leads to knowledge. Knowledge leads us to have the power that people cannot take away from us. Having that power to be able to protect ourselves and our communities allows us to understand that through reading, we're able to gain knowledge. With that knowledge, we're able to vote. We're able to protect our rights. 25% of our population is illiterate. They cannot read. 60% of inmates in prisons are functionally illiterate. They know how to write their name. Maybe they know their social security number. These facts are scary, and it shows that literacy programs, 60% of people in jail are illiterate, which means that those that cannot read end up in prison. They end up failing, and the system fails them because they don't have the difference to know and make changes to their communities and protect their lives. Literacy is the ability to understand, interpret, and identify the objects, people, and topics we would like to comprehend. Literacy allows us to communicate our ideas and develop ideas that improve and cause change in our cultures, ourselves, and our communities. Literacy is the ability to read and write, being able to know what you're saying and understand what you're reading. This ability provides you a 40% better chance to land a job. According to Michael Greenstone, who's the CEO for the Hamilton Project, which is a nonprofit literacy program, one of my favorite that I support, 40% better chance to land a job if you can read. Literacy programs are readily available from online to in-class instruction, and there are free programs to help people read and need and be able to push through. Now that we've established to the negatives of not being able to read and write and promoted the ideals, let's now push ourselves to support these measures. These measures are what are going to make our community stronger. It's going to make us a more powerful union, and the ability for those of us that can read need to teach those that can't. And if we don't have the time to sit down with someone and help them learn to read, then we as a people must keep our society from being divided, not only between rich and poor, but also between those who have access to information and knowledge and those that do not. For those of us fortunate to have it, we must instill that same power in the people and the power of knowledge that comes from reading. Literacy campaigns are essential, growing fundamentally strong communities, and the power to read and write down is endless. So take this, in the words of my favorite PBS show as a kid, Reading Rainbow. Take a look, it's in a book. Self-improvement and self-assertion is the power to achieve upward mobility and learn and read if you can help those who cannot. I will leave you with this. If you can read and write, you are a step ahead of the rest. The rest are the ones who support those who can. Bring everyone to the level of Ken. I thank you so much for your time.